Here's the problem. Let me just tell you what the problem is. This is why we're having a hard time making progress. Rob, can you pull up the video I just sent you earlier, Chuck Schumer? Okay, so this is Chuck Schumer. This is why it's going to be very hard to make progress. If you go to you'll see I texted to you, Rob. You should have it in your text. If you look at it, it's a clip of Chuck Schumer talking to Biden on a hot mic. And you should see what he says to him.
Oh, really?
No joke. I mean, you have to see what he says to him. Okay?
How long ago was this?
This is just play this clip.
Okay.
And whether this is 3 days ago, go ahead and play this clip. Watch this. Zoom in a little bit so we can see the words. Did you hear what he said?
Yeah. Done it for 6 years now. To keep doing it. That freaking snake. He's a snake. Joe Biden has no idea who he's talking to, by the way.
Okay, you can pause it right here, Rob. The point is,
scroll to the top, Rob.
The point is, if you continuously have this, we're not going to make progress on how to be prepared for the next one. Go ahead.
No, yeah, and I mean this is how they talk. This is the thing. This is how they talk, right? I mean, I think that like people.
Do you believe this? Do you believe that's exactly like this kind of stuff happens?
This is exactly how they talk all the time behind closed doors and in front of you. This is how they talk. They actually have contempt for people, it seems like, because they look at it like, basically, this is, people have said, it's like a quote that people have used all the time, but they're like, Washington is Hollywood for ugly people or whatever, right?
Yeah.
This is the way that they it's what can be sold to you. And they're basically like, we can blame these people, we can lie. All we care about is our donors. All we care about is the money. All we care about is protecting the people that put us there, that give us money. Chuck Schumer is the senator from Wall Street, by the way. He's a New York senator. He has a constituency. They don't care. They don't care. This is how they talk. They are behind closed doors. They could be playing golf in Greenwich, Connecticut, or Palm Beach, or wherever they are. Maybe they're drinking wine in Napa Valley with Gavin Newsom at the French Laundry.
Winery. Yeah.
Wherever it is, they are not talking about the fentanyl crisis. They're not talking about people that don't have jobs. They're not talking about immigration, other than to say donors are upset. They're getting pushback. How do we handle these very wealthy people that pay us money? That's really what. This is what they do. Now the internet's ruined this whole thing now. For them. You know what I mean? Imagine doing this for hundreds of years and then all of a sudden they don't know what a hot...
They ruined their shtick.
Good luck explaining to Joe Biden what this even is.
Yeah. The most important thing to me in this entire thing is when he says, I'm a pro. Because if you go down the rabbit hole of I'm a pro, what does that mean?
And he's a pro.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Is that I am the establishment.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for decades. How long has he been the Senate majority or minority leader? 2 decades probably. And it's what I will say is it's as establishment as it gets, but it works on both sides of the aisle. Because for every Chuck Schumer,
of course,
there's our good friend Mitch McConnell. And those are the neocons essentially that are going back and forth on this.
Yeah.
And they're just playing the game of politics, and there's dead people to show for it.
And there's 2 things. Number one, zero accountability. Zero. They get away with all of them.
Well, because people keep voting them in.
No. But
people voted for a corpse named Mitch McConnell again in 2020.
He's a scumbag too.
The people in Kentucky should be held accountable. People in New York should be held accountable.
When I hear people like this, when I see this, and God knows what they're saying behind the closed doors, I wouldn't put it past them to be in cahoots with a different country to be like, oh, you know that disease that they'll call a flu in a couple of years? Release that shit, and we'll never hold any accountability.
You don't really know.
You never know.
You don't know.
Let it leak. Let it leak. We want to get the president out.
Look,
let it leak.
For me,
allegedly,
I'm coming.
I'm
coming from a place of, if like, who's I talking to? I was talking to Prince. I said, okay, typically when you have 2 people get into a fight. Yeah. You could be your kids, okay? It could be your friends. It could be your cousins, your parents.
Right.
Whoever it is, employees. First thing you do, you bring them together and, hey, your position, totally get it. What do you guys agree on? You try to find a point of, where at least there's some, not necessarily middle ground, what do you actually agree on? Okay.
That's right.
Right? And I asked Eric, I said, so imagine we're in a room. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm the mediator. You're the mediator. Anybody is the mediator. You have Schumer.
Yeah.
You have Pelosi.
Right.
You have, AOCs, the Obamas, whoever it is, right? And then on the other side, you got whoever, pick them.
McConnell, whatever.
McConnell is establishment.
Matt Gates, Donald
let's just
Trump.
say Matt Gates. Let's just say Trump. Let's
Jim
just
Jordan.
Say, let's just say Jim Jordan. Let's just say Trey Gowdy. Let's just say some of these guys, right? And you ask,
Lindsey Graham. All these.
What do you guys agree on? Like, do they both believe America is great, the greatest country in the world?
They would all say yes. Here's the thing.
But what does it mean?
None of them are telling the truth. Your thing only works if people are being honest. They're not ever being honest. They're always lying. And they're lying because...
Do you remember that one time?
They all agree on self-preservation.
Exactly.
They just want to continue to rule.
No term.
Are you convinced? Are you convinced the 56 guys that started this country were the same way?
No, because it was a different time. But I think that, like, for example, I think there was a lot more risk than there was now, right? So when those 56 guys were starting the country, there's a lot less to lose now. Like,
or then.
Well, then you could get killed for taking a stand and starting a country. You could lose a war. You could, you know what I mean? Like,
I guess what I'm saying is a lot less to lose. You had a lot less money to lose. You have a lot more money to lose. You have a lot more control to lose. Back then, you're like, dude, I ain't got nothing. Like, the only thing I got is freedom. You're going to kill me? Or what else do I have? I'm either going to be a slave to, Britain, or I'm going to be a free person. So the only thing is, historically, you can typically find something they have in common. Okay, Phil is going to say, Kobe, you hate Shaq. Shaq, you hate Kobe? Yeah. Do you want to win another chip? Do you want to be better than Kareem? Do you want to go in the history books as the most dominant center of all time? Kobe, do you want to pass up MJ? I do. Can we make this work?
The problem with a lot of high up establishment people on both sides of the aisle is if you said, what are the things we agree on? It would be like enslaving the population and love of Satan.
It's sad, but it's
undeniable.
It's like, so that's unfortunately. And then they go, okay, let's work from there. Let's build. We can build.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's the case, I want you to be the strategist that you are politically, because a lot of people that follow your content, or they follow us, or they follow a lot of these other content, they're common sense people that would like to be free, have fun, enjoy their time with their family, go out there and do their thing. What do you think is the solution to
disconnect? Disconnect.
You think that's the solution?
Well, I don't mean disconnect in the sense of like, become like a hermit and, go underground or whatever. I mean, don't believe things that don't make sense to you. This is, I think, very important. If something does not make sense to you, don't believe it. Don't make these logical, crazy leaps in your mind. Now people are asking you to believe things that if somebody says a man can get pregnant, we know that's not the case. Some people, sorry,
be very
no
careful.
longer on YouTube.
Tim,
I apologize.
Tim.
But so that's not the case, right? So if somebody has to explain something to you in a 3-hour lecture, okay, in a field of study that has only existed for 20 or 30 years, you have to be, I think, appropriately skeptical of all that stuff, right? You have to look at it and go, that doesn't make any sense to me. If overnight you were told that you owe the Ukraine a percentage of your tax dollars forever, that doesn't make sense to you, you're right. You're correct. If overnight people are saying we're rewriting every biology book in America to say that biological sex and gender have nothing to do with each other, and you go, that seems extreme. It doesn't make any sense. You're right. If people say, like, we're not going to have a border and we're going to let people come in no matter who they are.
Don't fight it. Just agree with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's like you have to trust your own intuition. That doesn't mean you know everything. That doesn't mean you're a doctor. It doesn't mean you're a lawyer. It doesn't mean you're a scientist. What it does mean is that you have common sense. And if people are asking you to completely throw away all of your common sense, something's wrong.
I'm asking a different question.
Okay.
I'm asking a different question. The question I'm asking is sincere. Would you like America to stay as the greatest country in the world? Would
Sure.
you? You would
Sure.
like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So how many of yous are out there that are influential in different space, business, politics, comedy, Hollywood?
Yeah.
How many of you, your level of influence, are out there? What
I
number
have
do you
no
think it is?
idea.
What do you think it is? I actually think, let's put a number to it. What do you think that number is?
Give me a number.
How many total followers you got? 10 million, 15 million, 20 million?
We have a lot. I don't know. I mean, we've got 1 million a week on the podcast. It's close to 1 million on Instagram. We've got close to 1 million on Twitter, and I have people that come buy tickets. And
I think you're 5 million plus.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so how many people do you think that are like you, that love America, that want to be left alone, that have 5 million or more, that are willing to do something about it, that if we were to hold a meeting and they're all willing to attend, how many think would be there in that room? What do you think that number is?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Can we guesstimate and say 1,000?
Okay.
That's a fair number.
Is that a fair number?
That's a fair number.
Okay, let's say it's 1,000. So let's just say we actually do this.
I would love
and we come together and we have this meeting of these 1,000 people that say, okay, what can we do to unite and kind of figure something out? What do you think would be, an approach to take to prevent these guys from ruining the greatest nation in the world?
Well, people would have to get involved in the political process. It seems like, right? People would have to run for things. They'd have to want to, or they'd have to get into the media game. They'd have to come up with, institutions that are media. That provide information to people, or they'd have to run for something. Those seem to be the only two ways outside of like some violent revolution, right? It seems to be information, and it seems to be institutional power. Those are the two things that the elite have always controlled. They've controlled information, they've controlled institutional power, and institutional power controls military, police, everything like that. So, I mean, if you're going to non-violently change a country, it seems like the two ways to do it would be institutional power, which is elections and running and trying to attain some level of power, or it would be some type of media strategy where you pool your money together, you start these organizations, and you start trying to get out the information that you think is vital for people to have.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.